What if I told you that diamonds are neither rare nor special, and their value is built on pure manipulation? Diamonds are forever, they say, a symbol of eternal love, eternal commitment. But here's the hard truth. They are just rocks. Beautiful, polished, but rocks nonetheless. But what if I told you that the reason we've been conditioned to believe this is because one company created a lace so successful that it still controls the world today? In the early 20th century, diamonds weren't the default choice for engagement rings. In fact, pearls and sapphires were much more popular and certainly much cheaper. Diamonds were just one of many precious stones. They weren't even considered rare. So, what happened? It all started with Cecil John Rhodes, born on July 5th, 1853 in England, in a wealthy family. He was a sickly child who suffered from various health problems, often keeping him bedridden for long periods. At 17, he left England for South Africa. Initially interested in cotton farming, his plans changed after he learned about the diamond rush in Kimberley. In the 1870s, diamonds were being discovered in great abundance, and Rhodes saw a chance to get rich. In 1875, Cecil John Rhodes became a member of a secret society called Freemasons. The Freemasons back then were all about elite connections, influence, and power. His involvement in Freemasonry helped him build a network of influential figures, crucial for his business ventures, particularly in the diamond industry and for his colonial ambitions in Africa. By 1888, he founded De Beers Mining Limited. The diamond trade has a long, dark history tied to colonialism and the exploitation of African labor. Rhodes, not just a businessman, but also a colonial imperialist, sought to control African territories for the British Empire. His company profited greatly from the exploitation of native labor in the diamond mines of South Africa, where workers were subjected to poor conditions, low wages, and harsh treatment. By this time, Rhodes was already controlling nearly 90% of world's diamond production. But there was a problem. Despite their dominance, De Beers had a big issue. They had all these diamonds sitting in vaults, waiting to be sold. But no one was buying them. You see, diamonds weren't rare, they were plentiful, and no one felt the urgent need to buy them. And for 40 years, diamond went largely unsold. But then a new figure emerged, Barney Barnato. Born in London, 1852, Barnato, unlike Rhodes, came from a poor Jewish family. Like Rhodes, he moved to South Africa in the 1870s and quickly recognized the potential in the diamond mines of Kimberley. By the late 1880s, Barnato had amassed a fortune and founded his own mining company, quickly becoming a rival to Rhodes and De Beers. Their competition, known as the Diamond Wars, became a bitter battle for control of the diamond-rich region. Barnato was a shrewd businessman, known for his aggressive tactics. He challenged Rhodes for dominance, and for a while, it seemed like he might rival De Beers. However, this fierce rivalry was expensive. The cost of competing with De Beers became too high, so the two men struck a deal. In 1888, Rhodes and Barnato merged their companies, creating De Beers Consolidated Mines. This merger gave Rhodes almost total control of the diamond industry. After the merger, Barnato remained a key figure in the new De Beers empire. But his relationship with Cecil Rhodes became more strained as time went on. Despite the partnership, the two men had different personalities and different visions. But it all ended in 1897, when Barnato died suddenly under mysterious circumstances while on board a ship to England. After all this, the main problem of Rhodes remained the same. Diamonds went largely unsold. That's when De Beers realized something crucial. It wasn't just about products, it was about controlling perception. They needed to create a story around diamonds, one that made people feel like they had no choice but to buy them. And if you think about it, this strategy isn't unique to diamonds. Control the narrative, and you control the market. It's the same lesson that businesses learn when trying to grow. Without the right access to business funding, even the best ideas can struggle. And that's where Revenue's Flex line makes a difference. Unlike traditional financing, Revenue doesn't trap you in unnecessary fees or rigid payback structures. Instead, you get flexible spending based on your business revenue, not personal credit. No origination fees, maintenance fees, or draw fees. Get approved fast with a funding decision in as little as an hour. Only pay for the working capital you use, giving you total control over your cash flow. Access cash on demand, deposit it straight into your business bank account or through your Revenue business card. Revenue reports to Dun & Bradstreet, helping you build your business credit. This is what Revenue does, giving businesses access to flexible business funding when they need it. Now let's go back to the beers. In the 1940s, the Beers launched a campaign that would change everything. A diamond is forever. This wasn't just an ad, it was a cultural shift. Suddenly, diamonds weren't just beautiful gems. They became the ultimate symbol of love. The Beers didn't just sell diamonds. They sold the idea of love itself. They convinced the world that if you truly loved someone, you needed to buy a diamond. And here's where it gets even darker. The Beers didn't just create demand, they engineered scarcity. They controlled the supply, making sure there weren't too many diamonds flooding the market. The less available they were, the more valuable they seemed. Diamonds weren't rare. They were made to feel rare. By restricting availability, they ensured the demand stayed high, while prices remained artificially inflated. But the Beers didn't stop there. In the 20th century, they established what became known as the De Beers Law. This cartel not only controlled the supply of diamonds, but they also dictated their price. For much of the 20th century, they set the terms of diamond production, pricing, and distribution, ensuring that diamonds would always be sold at a premium, no matter the actual supply or demand. And it didn't end there. The Beers ensured diamonds had no resale value. Once you bought one, you couldn't sell it back. You were locked in. Diamonds became part of a cycle. You paid the price, and it didn't matter whether it was worth it. You couldn't get out. The diamond became a symbol of love, commitment, and status. Irreplaceable, even though it wasn't rare. In the 1950s, as the US economy boomed, the diamond engagement ring became the cultural norm. The Beers had successfully turned a luxury item into a mandatory purchase for love. And they did it so well that no one even questioned it. And here's the most disturbing part. They did all this while making you believe it was your idea. They didn't force you to buy a diamond. They created the narrative, the cultural expectation, so that you couldn't imagine proposing without one. The Beers effectively blocked any competitors from entering the market, maintaining their monopoly until the early 2000s, when competition from Russia's Alrosa and synthetic diamonds began to challenge their dominance, and now becoming their only competitor. Today, diamonds can even be created in labs with the same chemical properties as natural diamonds, but without the environmental and human rights issues tied to traditional diamond mining. These lab-grown diamonds offer a more ethical choice, removing the controversial history of diamond extraction. Yet, despite this, the narrative of rarity and exclusivity that the Beers created remains so ingrained in our culture that even artificial diamonds still hold that premium value. Diamonds aren't rare. They are just drugs. What made them valuable was the story that the bears created around them. So, the next time you are thinking about buying a diamond, remember this. You are not just buying a piece of jewelry, you are buying into a story that was carefully crafted, manipulated, and sold to you. And that's how the bears turned an ordinary stone into one of the most valuable things in the world. Not because of its rarity, but because they made us believe it was irreplaceable. And the most shocking part, they didn't need to make it rare, they just needed to make you believe it was.